Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Febrianti Sekti. I'm from Bilingual Mathematics Education 2019. So in this video, I want to explain about the philosophy of mathematics education. Before we tell about the philosophy of mathematics education, I want to remind us about the philosophy of education. Do you still remember about the philosophy of education? The philosophy of education is philosophical ideas about education. Some things that the philosophy of education is a philosophy of educational process. And on the other, things that the philosophy of education is a philosophy of educational disciplines. So the philosophy of the educational process is concerned with ideals, forms, methods, and results from educational process. While the philosophy of educational disciplines is metadisciplinary, in the sense that it has to do with educational concepts, ideas, and methods education science. Historically, the philosophy of education developed by philosophers such as Aristotle, Augustine, and Locke is a philosophy of the educational process as part of the philosophical system they profess. There are several schools of philosophy that so influence the philosophy of education. The first is analytical philosophy, the second is progressivism, the third is existentialism, and the last is reconstructionism. Okay, now I want to tell about the philosophy of mathematics education. Mathematics education philosophy focuses more on the educational process in mathematics. But what is mathematics education? According to Wayne, 1973, mathematics education is a study aspects of the nature and history of mathematics and the psychology of learning and teaching that will contribute to understanding of teachers in their work with students. Joint study and analysis of the school curriculum, the principles underlying its development and practical use in a classroom. So, the philosophy of mathematics education discusses the following problems. The first is the nature of mathematics, and then the history of mathematics, psychology of learning mathematics, theory of teaching mathematics, child psychology in relation to learning mathematics, the development of the school mathematics curriculum, and the last, the implementation of the mathematics curriculum in the classroom. In this philosophy of mathematics education, in particular, the constructivism philosophy will be present, which has been widely followed since the 90s. In 1983, Resnick published a note on the new notion of learning mathematics. He explained that a person who learns from understanding. Bettencourt in 1989 writes the people who learn not only imitate or reflect what they are taught or read, but create understanding. Knowledge or understanding is formed by active students, not only passively received from the teacher. In his research on misconceptions, Fisher and Lipson, 1986, found that in learning mathematics, knowledge and understanding includes an active and constructive process. Constructivism influenced many studies of misunderstanding or misconceptions and alternative understanding in learning mathematics. We talk about the constructivism philosophy. In summary, constructivism notion of knowledge is as follows: von Glaserfeld and Kitchener in 1987. The first, knowledge is not a mere representation of reality, but is always a construction of reality through the activities of the subject. The second, subject form cognitive schemas, categories, concepts, and structures necessary for knowledge. The third, knowledge is formed in the structure of one's conception. The structure of the conception forms knowledge if the conception applies in dealing with one's experience and called the concept street. So, in the construction process, according to Glassford, various abilities are needed: the ability to remember and recall experience, the ability to compare, make decisions about similarities and difference, and the ability to prefer one experience over another. Next, we talk about the implication of constructivism in the learning process. Learning is an active process of students constructing meaning or good meaning from text, dialogues, physical experience, or others. Learning also starts the process of assimilating and connecting experience or materials that have been studied with the understanding that students already have so that their understanding develops. Its characteristics as follows. First, learning means forming meaning. Meaning is created by students from what they see, feel, and experience. The construction of meaning is influenced by the understanding it already has. The second, the construction of meaning is a continuous process. Every time we are faced with a new phenomenon, construction is carried out. The third, learning is not the result of development, but development itself. Development demands discovery and rearrangement of students' minds. The fourth, the real learning process takes place when one schema is in doubt, which stimulates further thought. The fifth, learning outcomes are influenced by students' experience with the physical world and the natural surroundings. And the last, students' learning outcomes are influenced by what students already know, concepts, goals, and motivations that affect interaction with the material being studied. Students' role. According to constructivism, learning activities are active activities. Students build their own knowledge. Students look for their own meaning from what they learn. This search process is a process of adjusting new concepts and ideas with the framework of thinking that already exists in students' minds. Students themselves who are responsible for their learning outcomes. Now we want to tell about the meaning of teaching. According to constructivism, teach not move transferring knowledge from teachers to students, but rather than activity that allows students to build their own knowledge. Teaching means participating with students in forming knowledge, making meaning, seeking clarity, being critical, and justifying. Thus, teaching is a form of self-learning. Thinking well is more important than having a good answer to a problem being studied. Students who have a good way of thinking, in the sense that their way of thinking can be used to deal with new phenomena, will find solutions to other problems. If this way of thinking is based on assumptions that are wrong or unacceptable at the time, students can still develop their minds. Teaching in this context is helping students think properly by allowing them to think for themselves. Now we tell about the functions and role of the teacher. According to the principle of constructivism, the teacher's role is as mediator and facilitator, which helps students so that the students' learning process goes well. The emphasis is on the students who learn and not on the teachers who teach. The description of the teacher as a mediator and facilitator is as follows. First, provide activities that allow students to be responsible for designing, processing, and research. The second, provide activities that stimulate students' curiosity and help students express their scientific ideas. The third, monitor, evaluate, and show whether students' minds are working or not. The teacher questions whether students' knowledge applies to dealing with new related problems. The teacher helps evaluate students' conclusion. So, that's all my explanation about the philosophy of mathematics education. I'm sorry for my mistakes. I hope this video can be useful for all of us. And thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.